Understanding the financials and financing needs of a business is tricky, and it's something that you've never had experience with before when you first become a CEO, even if you've been working inside of an organization before. Just because in your personal life you understand very viscerally the difference between a $500 expense and a $700 expense doesn't actually mean that you understand viscerally the difference between a $500,000 expense and a $700,000 expense. So the numbers get a lot bigger when you're managing a P&L and managing a balance sheet of a company, and it takes a while to hone your instincts around those things. And I think of really two different things that I've learned over the years around this that have been very helpful. The first is cash is king, and make sure you focus on cash and make sure you understand that the cash flows of the business are very, very different, or can be very different from the P&L dynamics of a business. The second thing I learned very early on is to personally be in the financial model, in the spreadsheet that defines the budget and the drivers of the business. Having that sort of hands-on understanding of what's producing the P&L and how the P&L translates into the balance sheet has been a really important part of my understanding the cash flow dynamics and financing needs of the business. So the important thing to remember about any budget or forecast is that it's wrong. You just don't know how it's wrong or how wrong it is. And I would say as the company grows, a couple of things need to happen. One is that you should be able to forecast less frequently, and the other is that you should be able to forecast more accurately. So in the very, very beginning of a company's life, you may need to be redoing the forecast every week or every month as circumstances on the ground change. And your expectation and the expectation you have to create with your stakeholders is not one of precision. Because there's so many unknowns with customer adoption and price points and even product functionality. As you end up with a much more mature business, if you think about an extreme example of a public Fortune 500 company, you should be able to once a year or 4 times a year produce a highly accurate and highly reliable overall forecast. And the process of growing from a startup to a Fortune 500 company is usually long and winding and varied, so there are lots of intermediate steps there. But I would say even the best and most precise companies at scale are still doing some sort of regular update or refresh to their forecast along the way in order to drive that precision.